All right, so let's talk about React, lists, and map. So let's present a problem. So let me open my app.js on VS Code. I got nothing on it as usual. So I'm gonna create a list of, I don't know, you tell me guys, tell me a list of things you want me to build today. Fruit, come on, something different. We're talking about fruits all the time. No? Colors. All right, let's talk about colors, right? Not very exciting, guys, not very exciting. Let's talk about politicians, something a bit more interesting, right? So I'm going to create a component called politician, and the component will have some properties, probably first name, last name, I don't know, date of birth, whatever. Yeah. So that's my component politician, and then eventually I'm gonna, you know, on my app.js, I'm gonna play with it. So first of all, let's ignore props. So let's just display something basic, something hard-coded, just to get a feeling about what we're gonna build, right? So for instance, the class name, I don't know, first name, do we want to style that? Probably not. So, oh yeah, maybe, who knows, right? So first name, so this is gonna be Bill, and then we're gonna also have the last name, Clinton, and then we got the date of birth, whatever, yeah? Cool. So obviously, if we got a single politician and we go back to the web browser, if we refresh the page, eventually, you know, we got the details here. We can obviously work a bit on that because it feels a bit weird, right? So we can also, for instance, first name, colon, space, last name, and then eventually date of birth, whatever. Yeah. So just to work a bit very briefly on the semantics of the exercise, which are everything but important today. Yeah. And that's the way I can easily build a politician. But now, what if I don't want to hard code the name of that person? What if I want to pass that data dynamically to the component? Can anyone tell me how to do that? Props, all right? Yeah, and how we do that? I'm not gonna write the word props, FYI. So you need to tell me something better. Name, like that. First name. Okay, and then what else? Like that. Do you agree with Aaron? With curly braces. I think the bird someone has behind you spotted this, right? So last name and then the OP, yeah? Something like that. So what else? What else we need to do? That's correct. First name. Whatever, yeah? And the data we want to display. All right, fair enough. Yep. So once again, let's first of all make sure that that still works. So if we refresh the page, still working, right? So all good. So what happened if we got, instead of one politician, we got two politicians? It's the same, right? And the thing is, that should work. We got two politicians. The UI is a bit weird. Let me what? I don't know. Let me replace. I don't know. Oh, that's okay. I'm not gonna waste much time today with the styling, yeah. But I hope you see it works, right? I got the first politician, and then I got the second politician. That's fine. That's fine. However, at some point, I'll tell you something. What if we want to implement a search mechanism somewhere? You know, an input box where we can filter the list of politicians by country, by date of birth, by name, whatever. Yeah. So playing with this sort of static approach won't scale, because sooner or later we may want to display Bill but not Emmanuel, or on the other way around. Yeah? As soon as we want to filter the data, that style is not gonna work anymore. So what we can do is we can play with arrays. So look at the change. Let me add a third politician, because I don't know why with 3 elements it looks maybe slightly easier to understand. So yeah. All right, I'll go with yours, Bruce. Right. So we got 3 politicians and then it works, right? Fair enough. So now look, I'm going to create an array of politicians. You know how arrays works in JavaScript, right? So let politicians equals, and then you got your array. Array of what? Strings? Booleans? Why objects? That's correct, because we got multiple properties associated to each politician. I think an object is going to work really well, because we could have a list of key value pairs. First name Bill, last name Clinton, date of birth, whatever. Yeah? So we want 3 objects, right? And now let me play a bit with the indentation. I'm going to keep each politician in one line, yeah? Just for readability purposes. So we got first name Bill, last name Clinton, whatever, yeah? So that's what we need to do for all the 3 politicians we are playing with. So finally, so as you can see, I'm just moving data from one side to the other. And now we start with the tricky part. We're moving the data from the HTML to an array in JavaScript. Now the idea is to iterate over this array of data. So then for each politician, we'll replace the corresponding object with a piece of HTML. So can anyone tell me which method in JavaScript transforms an array of something, in this particular case, array of objects, into an array of something else, in this particular case, an array of HTML tags? That's correct, that's correct, that's correct, that's correct. We can use the map, guys. Let's pay attention to the syntax. Politicians.map. And now I'll do something else. But so far, can you see anything wrong before I inspect the details of the algorithm? The component itself. No, we'll do that. We'll do that. We'll do. Yes. So look, just pay attention to the coloring. You see this flat white color? That's a bit smelly. And the reason why that's a bit smelly, it's because if I show you the result, it's not ready. Yeah, I mean, I need to write some code here. However, I mean, why the hell is that happening? Can anyone tell me why I got politicians.map hard-coded in my HTML? That's correct, Lauren. Remember, guys, we use curly braces in HTML whenever we want to play with JavaScript. Politicians is a JavaScript array, so we definitely need to surround our sexy expression with the curly brace. And then you can see, as soon as you do it, it changes colors. So VS Code is very smart, telling you whether you are right or wrong, right? It changes colors. Make sure that you indent the code correctly, right-click format document, and then we can continue. Yeah. All right. So now what we do next? Politician.map. I got each individual politician, and now the idea is for each politician, I want to return. That's correct. The politician component. Be careful with the casing with capital P. That's correct, Vicky. And now, first name. What? Can anyone tell me what should I write here? What do you think, guys? That looks better. It should be on the other way around, right? So the object is the politician, and that object will hold a bunch of properties: first name, last name, date of birth. Yeah, but the object is the politician. So then we need to write politician dot first name, and then the rest, right? So last name equal politician dot last name, and then date of birth equal politician dot date of birth, unless I introduce any typos. So something like that, right? What else, Vicky? Why we have to? Yeah, okay, fair enough. So readability purposes, let's keep each argument in a new line, something like that, right? Cool. You know, guys, I'm a big fan of parentheses. So if I were you, I will do something like that. So now, I don't know, I find that slightly more readable. That's maybe just my personal feeling. Okay? Cool. So let's see if that works. We got. It's not defined. Politician is not defined. Can anyone tell me where the problem is? That's correct. Look, my feeling, actually, I didn't do that on purpose, but this thing happens from time to time. Yeah? So I get the feeling that I'm calling the method correctly. Politician, and then I got poly. But then, first of all, line number 4, the component is grayed out. If it's grayed out, it means that we are not calling it, and that's smelly because we are supposed to be calling that politician component. And then, you know what I do when I get this type of errors? Like, imagine that I'm still convinced I'm calling the component politician. So I should be declaring that word politician with capital P twice, here and there. So you know what I do? Control F or Command F. I search case sensitive. You select the first option, and then you'll see there is only one instance of the word politician. So then I can clearly see I did something wrong. And if that's not enough, I will open a new file and I will put both words one below the other, and hopefully I can compare them side by side, and I can quickly spot that yes, there was a typo. Is that any familiar to you, Elijah, having typos in your code? Yeah. Yesterday he got an issue. He typed SCR when dealing with an image, right? SCR, and didn't work, obviously, because it should be SRC. All right. So yeah, let's get rid of the typo, and then let's try again. So now if I search again, you see I got 2 instances. So that gives me some sort of confidence about what I'm doing. And then you can see it works. And now, my question in a given interview will be, is that all? Do you see any warning, anything we should look after? That's correct. Guys, imagine that you are in a job interview. One of the things I told you should do first, regardless of what you need to build, regardless of what the scope of the session is, the first thing you should do is right-click, inspect. You should have DevTools always with open, because DevTools can spoil some potential problems. Yeah? So thanks to DevTools, you get an error. You see, look at the error, guys. React is really good reporting errors. Each child in the list should have a unique key property. In other words, React expects you to add an attribute called key in the root element of each iteration. Key equals whatever. Yeah, whatever. I don't care. But something unique. Can anyone tell me what could you use as a unique key in this example? An ID. Okay, fair enough. An ID. Do we have an ID, by the way? No. I mean, yeah, I can agree with you. If we will have an ID like 1 or I don't know, whatever, yeah, you know, you can have an ID. Then definitely, if we will have that, and sometimes we got these things. So you know, in conflicts, you got IDs, right? So then, fair enough. Oh, sorry. If you got IDs, you can do that. So then you can type politician.id. And now, even though that is valid, you don't always have an ID. So first of all, let's see if it works. So if I refresh the page, no errors at all. So fantastic, we solved the problem. But what if we don't have any ID? We could add an ID, depends whether we have control on the data or not. But imagine that because of whatever reason we don't want to add an ID on each element. Can we use politician.firstname? Why not? Yes? No? Yes? That's correct. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's a very interesting discussion. Yeah. So I agree with Aaron. So obviously, as soon as another politician has the name Bill, yeah, well, then we have an issue, right? Because two keys will have the same value, and then React will blow up. So we don't want to trust the first name. Yes, I mean, technically speaking, we could do first name and plus last name, right? But still, is that rocket science? No, because two politicians may have the same name, yeah, the same first and last name. Think George Bush, right? George Bush Senior and George Bush Junior. Feels a bit weird to call Junior someone at 85 years old, but you got the point, right? We may have multiple elements with the first and last name. So if you don't have any obvious way to determine what the key should be, index. And what's the index, Vicky? Yeah, but what are you going to type index like that? That's not gonna work for sure. Where is index? Why index and not Brexit? Not quite. Yeah, Elena? That's correct. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Yes. When you use map, the first argument holds each individual element on the array. Fair enough. Then you can pass a second argument, which is the index. So what's the first index? Can anyone tell me? 0. That's correct. 0, then 1, then 2 is the index of the element in that array. Yeah? And then be careful, guys. Be careful. Whenever you got more than one arguments, here you got 2 arguments. As Elena said, you have to surround and you have to encapsulate them with parentheses. So now, if we run it, and I refresh the page, yeah, you see, it works, right? So we've solved the problem in a deterministic way. Well, is it possible, guys, that 2 elements will share the same index? Can that scenario be possible? No, that's correct. No, the index will be unique. If you are curious about index, what are the side effects, blah, 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 what React tells you officially is index is okay, but yes, as you know, the last chance. So if you got any unique ID, use it instead of the index. Okay? Use it. Why? I'm not going to explain that now. But if you got any proper ID, any semantic ID, use it. Only use the index if, like in this case, we don't have any IDs. So, all right, that's better than nothing. Any questions? No one? Okay, so I got a question for you. What if I don't want to write the word politician at all? And don't tell me rename it with Brexit. I mean, I want to do something here. Yeah, I don't want to type politician dot all the time. So what can I do? Say it again, Lauren. That's correct. You see, first name, and then last name, and then date of birth. Yep. So you see, we are destructuring each politician. So now I don't need to type it at all. So the code becomes even simpler to read. That's a good point. Yeah. That's a really interesting. Yeah. That's a great point. That's a great point, Aaron. Yes, technically speaking, you can have 47 properties here. You can destructure them all if you want. However, let me show you what I will do if that was my situation. Meaning that instead of having first name, last name, and date of birth, we will have email, address, location, you know, something like that. Technically speaking, yes, we can pass all these properties one by one. That's fine. That's fine. However, what I will do is I will change my mind. I will refactor the code. I will just pass the whole object, politician, if I spell it correctly. And then look at what I will do now. So, can anyone tell me? So you see what I've done, right? Rather than passing the properties individually to the politician object, to the politician component, now I'm passing the whole politician object. So back to the politician component. Can anyone tell me what should I do to complete this exercise? That's correct, Vicky. Yeah, because now, which property are we passing? Just the politician, and then what? Will that work? That's correct. That's correct, Elena. So now we need to bring it back, right? Because we're passing it. So now we destructure politician, but that's an object, right? That's an object. So if we want to access all the individual properties, we need to do politician.politician.politician. Yeah, is that ideal? I don't know, but definitely, if your politician object holds 47 variables, I think that's the cleanest approach, because you send the whole data to the component. So now it's up to the component to decide what the hell should we do with all this amount of details about the politician. Yeah? I think that's slightly easier. Could we, guys, destructure the politician object? Imagine that I don't want to type politician at all. Like that. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work, my friend. That's not gonna work because you are assuming the component receives 3 properties: first name, last name, and date of birth. And that's not right. If I pay attention to the signature of the component, it only, apart from the key, it only has 1 property, which is the politician. So I cannot do that. I cannot do that. So how can we destructure? We are destructuring twice. So if I take politician, I'm destructuring once. But now, I told you, comma, and then close, because it's not a comma, it's a colon. Yeah, you remember that? I'll tell you something. No one will ever expect you to do that. If you go to a job interview and you destructure an argument, you are proving the size of your balls, right? So don't hesitate to demonstrate your ability to deal with complex use cases scenarios, right? All right, so let's see if it works. Here you go, right? Let me refresh the page just to prove I'm not cheating, and you can see it still works. Cool. Questions? So I got a question for you. how, imagine that you got that exercise, and then you are expected to introduce a change. You want to display only, actually, let me add a fourth property. So the fourth property is going to be origin, right? So where that person is coming from. Origin, and it will be origin, the country, the region, whatever. Yeah. So origin. So let me pass a new attribute called origin. So now the exercise is, please rewrite the algorithm to display. Thank you for nothing, Siri. To display. Did Siri say thank you? Do you see that? All right, that was a bit weird. All right. So Siri is listening. Cool. So I want you to change this algorithm to display only the politicians born in the US. You are not allowed to change the array. The array is what it is. That comes from a database, from whatever. You are just allowed to change the render function. So how would you display only the politicians born in the US? Dot filter, that's correct, Lauren. Look, let's pay attention to indentation, guys, which is vital. Filter, and then anyone apart from Lauren can tell me how to complete the exercise. Politician, hold on, Elena. Politician, I don't know. Politician, and then what else? Arrow function, correct? Dot origin. How many equals, guys? 7? 3? Correct. Not 2, right? Why not 2? Performance. See, yeah. Strict match. Yeah, you can. Yeah, definitely. I think if you said all this list of things, that's fantastic. And don't forget to refer to Douglas Crackford. Double equals is the evil twin of triple equals. Yeah. So show your programming culture. That's correct, guys. So if you do that, you'll present only the politicians born in the US. Let's have a look to it. You see? I got Bill Clinton and George Bush, but not Emmanuel Macron. And what if I want to display only the politicians with the first character of the last name equal to M for Manchester? Yes, the first character of the last name should be M for Manchester in capitals. Yes. All right, someone else please can complete that. Politician to what? Yeah. What else? Something like that? What do you think, guys? Is Max right or wrong? Cool. You got the support from the audience, Max. So that's correct. You see, only Macron is displayed. And what if, because whatever reason, our database has sometimes Macron with capital M, sometimes Macron with small m? Will that work? No. So what will that display then? Undefined. So you think, guys, error. So you got there are 3 options, or undefined. Cool. Max is right. Yeah. So React is user driven. So yeah, there is nothing to display. It's not gonna be undefined, guys. Regardless of what React does, that will never, ever return undefined. So undefined is an invalid option, regardless of the execution context. Yeah. Why? What filter returns, guys? An array, always. It could be an array with 1 element, with 3 elements, with 0 elements. But that's still an array, an empty array. Yeah? And then, if we got an empty array, how many times the map function will run? Zero. It won't run at all, right? Because there is nothing to map. Map will iterate over each individual element of the array. If the array has no elements, map does nothing. So it's just ignored. Yeah. So technically speaking, that expression will return an empty array. And React is smart enough to know that empty array means a, there is nothing to solve, right? So can anyone tell me how to perform a case insensitive search? How can we solve the problem? So macron written all in lower cases will be displayed. To uppercase like that. Why parentheses, Elena? That's correct. To uppercase is a method. It's a method, so we need to call it. All right. What do you think, guys? Will this work? You're not very convinced, Lauren, but all right, that works. So back to the origin problem. So politician.origin equal US. So how can we? So that will work, right? So first Bill and then George. How can we reverse? How can we reverse the results? Maybe that because of whatever reason, whoever is list first should be displayed last to the user. Does anyone know how to change the order of the elements in JavaScript? Politician.reverse. Well, here you remove the origin. I just want to display the American politicians, yeah? Well, you are changing the algorithm completely. So first of all, you go to the job interview and that's the code they show you. You have no idea. They didn't give you any details about what they are trying to build. So you could read, you could understand different goals, different purposes, yeah? However, even if you don't understand what the hell is expected to happen, what would you say about this code? Will that do something meaningful or not, and why? Why not? That's correct, Elena. You see, Elena got the job. Why? Because reverse works with arrays only. What type of data politician in singular is? It's an object. Can we reverse an object? No, that doesn't make any sense. We only reverse arrays. Yeah. So that doesn't, regardless of what we are trying to build, that's wrong. You got a red light here. It does not gonna work. So remember the question. I want to display first George and then Bill. So let me put back what we got before. The origin is important because I want to narrow my search only to the US presidents, yeah, or politicians. So how can we change the order of the elements? Sort, and how are you gonna sort it? Yeah, but you're making it more complicated, Lawrence. Sort would make sense if you wanted to sort by number of years that that politician has been active or something like that. But I don't want to check any details. I just want to reverse the array. Yeah, whoever comes first should be displayed last, and vice versa. I'll give you a hint. With arrays, if you got let fruits equals apple and banana, then if you do fruits dot reverse, that will return the array on the other way around. Interesting. After map. What do you think, guys? Oh, sorry, not reduce, right? Reverse. I was thinking of something else. Reverse. Interesting. So, first of all, let's see if it works, and then we'll talk to finish this session about the order. Where should it be, right? So, first of all, if I refresh, that's correct. You see, yours and then build. Originally, it was on the other way around. It was build and then yours. So that's actually working. Can I move the reverse somewhere else? Can I move it in between of filter and map, for instance? Will that work? Let's look. Let's refresh. And then it works. And can I move it before the filter? Why not? Yeah, you're right. That's the same, right? Where do you reverse the array? It doesn't matter. So here we first of all reverse the array, then we filter, and then we display. Yeah. If you move it to the in between, we first filter the politicians, then we reverse the result of filtering, and then we display. And eventually, if we move it to the end, that's the same thing. We first of all filter the politicians, then we display, and then we reverse the result of displaying. That will cause the same effect. So it doesn't really matter. However, do you have any preference? Where should you reverse and why? Why? First, why first, Max? But I think I don't necessarily agree with you, Max, because it's going to be the same. So the thing is, will it iterate from the beginning to the end, or will it iterate from the end to the beginning? Yeah, but that's not going to make any difference. However, what happened if you got 1 million politicians, and then you, because of whatever reason, because of your filter, you only want to display 100? Not sure if anyone is following what I'm trying to say. That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. So I don't think that's going to be a problem. But the main thing, as Lauren suggested, is performance. Performance once again. Why? Because if we reverse and then we filter, we are reversing an array of 1 million elements to then eventually just display 100. However, if we filter and then we reverse, regardless of whether it's before or after map, yeah, that's not going to make a difference. How many elements are we reversing now? 100, that's correct. So you see, from a performance point of view, it is convenient to filter the data at the very beginning of your array transformation journey. Because first of all, you delete, you discard whatever you don't care about, and then you look after the chicken, the meat of the exercise. You filter, sorry, you map, you reverse, you find, do whatever you need to do. What else, guys? Would you keep the politician component here in app.js? Where would you do? That's correct. That's correct. You create a folder, then you create a file called politician.js. Ideally, you create another file called politician.css. So then you add a class name here called politician, unsurprisingly. And yeah, so that's the appropriate way of scaling your component tree. Well, guys, I'm gonna share that on Slack, and that was it for my side. So if you need anything, you know what I am. Thank you very much.